have a little fun with the presidential debates going on this evening. I want to keep it light, have a little bit of fun. I want to be numbers oriented, and I want to find out from a trader's perspective who's got the edge. You guys ready to play my little homemade game called Who's Got the Edge? You ready to do this? Sure. I want your buy-in, Tom. Tony, I want your buy-in as well.
Sure. Who's Got the Edge by Victor Jones. Never previously shown or discussed to Tony or myself. Let's see. Who's got the edge?
I need you off sides here. I need you unbalanced. Again, the game is called Who's Got the Edge?
Unhinged, uncensored, unfiltered, unbalanced.
Do you have any other mode, Tom? I think you're kind of a guy that comes with one setting, my friend. I don't know that there is another one.
What do you got, man? What do you got?
Tonight's debates, this Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. For 90 minutes, the world will be watching.
Not according to Tom.
We'll get there, actually. There are a series of new rules. This sort of debate was negotiated directly with each of the parties, and it was not done through the typical presidential commission that puts on these debates, who already had 3 scheduled debates. So this is a sort of a non-traditional pathway to creating these. Due to the fact that these are non-traditional, there are a new set of rules. I want to go over these rules with you, gentlemen, and with the chat. And on each one of the rules, I want to ask you, given the rule, who's got the edge? Does the edge go to President Biden or I suppose I can say President Trump? You ready to do this?
Sure.
This debate is going to be hosted by CNN. It will be simulcast by other networks. It's going to be hosted by CNN in CNN studios in Atlanta, Georgia. It's moderated by Jake Tapper and Dana Bash. Gentlemen, we're going to start here. The fact that it's hosted by CNN, moderated by Jake Tapper and Dana Bash. Who's got the edge? Does it go to Biden, Trump, or is it a push?
But isn't the next one hosted by some other network?
The next one is ABC News, and there's a big question mark on whether that will even happen in September, but let's stick to this one.
Okay. Who's got the
giving
edge?
Him the rules, Victor.
Yeah, so this will be interesting. Who's got the edge? Because I think that the hosts will go above and beyond to try to make it fair, even though they, listen, there's no hiding the fact that that they can't stand Trump. I think they'll go above and beyond to make it seem as fair as possible.
I call it down the middle, Victor, to answer your question. You gave us A, B, or C. Tom went with E. I'm going to go with...
I think they'll surprise people to be as fair as possible.
I'm going to go with down the C. It sounds like on the surface should be pretty fair.
I actually agree with Tony. I think it's a push. I think on one side, I think most people are going to automatically say that favors Biden. For Tom's reasoning, I think CNN is in a very weird spot that if they give Trump the flyer, if they appear to be unbiased, then even if Biden does well in this debate, you give Trump an excuse. So I think they're put in a weird spot where they have to be as unbiased as possible. Agree with Tony. It's a push. There is, for the first time since 1960 in the debate between JFK and Richard Nixon, no studio audience. This is, again, the first time in a presidential debate since 1960 there will be no studio audience. Tom, Tony, who's got the edge? Does that go to Trump or to Biden?
Oh, I don't think that. I think that's a push.
I say the edge goes to Biden.
I don't think that matters I don't think that matters.
Wow. I think the edge definitely goes to Biden. I think Trump is a performer, and it's like a comedian performing in front of no audience. You got to know where you stand. You got to hear the heckles. You got to see the people's faces falling asleep or getting excited if you're a performer. I think that definitely goes to Biden.
I agree 100%.
I don't think it matters at one bit.
All right. The media, by the way, is going to be watching. I think in that event in 1960, the media was actually in the room. There was no studio audience, but I think there was a handful of media. The media is going to be watching, in this case, from the Georgia Institute of Technology down the street. Just fun fact for all of you goons out there who can't get enough.
Believe it or not, Victor, believe it or not, we were a little too young in 1960 to watch that.
Even Tom.
By the way, I was too young to have watched that. You know how many times I've gone back on YouTube and I've watched that 1960 debate? Go watch it and compare the substance and the depth of conversation, the camaraderie that is, and the mutual respect that's expressed between those two candidates, and compare that to what we've seen in modern history. I've watched that debate probably 4 or 5 times in full.
That's why I feel like tonight is going to be an embarrassment, a stain on our country, rather than rather than something that has any value. But keep going.
Let's keep going. We're playing a little game called Who's Got the Edge. Now, going into today, the topics are unknown. Oftentimes, you actually, in the 3 debates, you separate the topics. You kind of know what is going to be discussed. We do not know what's going to be discussed here today. There are only 2-minute responses to the question, 1-minute rebuttals. And this is the big one, gentlemen. Microphones are muted. So if it's not your turn to discuss, your microphone is muted. And after your time is up on the 2 minutes or the 1-minute rebuttal, your mic automatically turns off. Mic muting, who does this benefit, gentlemen? Who's got the edge, Trump or Biden?
You know, believe it or not, you're going to think this is just me being a contrarian. Muting microphones benefits Trump because in the past, having his microphone open and letting him, just do whatever. In the past, I think that actually made him look like an idiot. And I think that muting the microphone is going to keep him focused because he needs focus. I think it's going to keep him focused. I think it's going to benefit him.
I wish you had come up with the D that Sosnoff tried to get to on the first question. I'm going to say it's a push, C, but I really feel that neither candidate's going to answer any of the questions anyway. Like they're going to just ramble on. So I don't think I'm going to go to push.
Anytime you can put Trump, make his responses more mechanical, it's going to benefit him. Because I've heard him do interviews in the past. Not now, not recently, because he's going a different direction. But I've heard him do interviews in the past where he can be very direct with his answers. He does a good job. If he's focused in and he's just responding to a good interviewer, he can answer questions and he can be engaging. The problem is when he goes off on his tangents and his rants, then he loses focus and loses everything. So I think that having the microphones shut off and everything like that really benefits him in a big way.
Funny. I would say push. I'm kind of leaning towards your direction, Tom, but I would say push as well. And I think a big deal has been made on this microphone muting thing. And I actually think it's a push when push comes to shove. There will be 2 commercial breaks, gentlemen. I guess I didn't really think about this. In the things that I've read said that in presidential debates in the past, there have never been commercial breaks, which struck me as odd, but I'll take it at face value. There will be 2 commercial breaks in this one. Campaign staff and aides are not allowed to interact with the candidates during the breaks. So in other words, you can't confer with your staff, or somebody can't tell you got something in your teeth, whatever the case may be, hand you some notes, go over the next set of questions or whatever.
It's like a tennis match.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. The 2 commercial breaks that benefit CNN, of course, but who's got the edge in the fact that you cannot confer with your staff during the breaks? Does that edge go to Biden or does it go to Trump?
Oh, I don't think that matters at all. I think it's really funny to watch. That's a push. But to see those 2 guys standing there and they're going to probably make small talk, that's going to be the really funny thing. That I think that they should record.
Oh, they should. There should. That's
what they should record. But what I hope they don't do is the only thing that scares me about commercial breaks, because it's Atlanta, is I really hope they don't play like the Masters music in the background, because that drives me crazy when they play the music from the Masters and like they go to like a 2-minute IBM break or something. I just hope they don't do that.
I hope they talk like crazy, and I hope they put on the Ocho channel, because I would love to hear that.
There's no doubt in my mind that that when they go to commercial break, those 2 are going to talk.
I don't think so.
Oh, no doubt in my mind.
I wish we could find out. I don't think so.
I wish there were some props we could bet.
This is 90% of this is a show.
Sure.
Okay. It's not, they're going to talk. They know each other. They're going to talk.
I think it slightly favors Trump, because I think even if you could go talk to him, I don't know. I think he trusts himself more than anyone else. So,
Oh, he doesn't listen to anyone. He won't listen to anybody.
Tried to give him advice. He wouldn't listen to it.
But I don't think it, honestly.
So it favors.
I don't think that matters at all.
And I guess it's been a long time since Tom has played tennis, because coaching is now allowed, I'm told by my Taiwanese.
Is it?
In tennis.
There's some sport you can't coach in. What is it when you can't coach it? Is it like Olympic something? There's something you can't coach in.
According to my Taiwanese sources, you are wrong.
Okay, well, there's something that you can't coach in. I don't remember what it is.
Normally, there's opening statements. There will not be an opening statement tonight. Only 2-minute closing statement. Last one on who's got the edge here. RFK Jr. failed to meet the ballot access and polling requirements that were set by CNN. I think they said you had to earn at least 15% support in 4 approved national polls to be on the ballot, and in enough states to win 270 votes in the Electoral College. For that reason, nobody else qualified but the
That's
two,
fine.
the two
I think it's better that
nominees
way.
of the parties. Who's got the edge? This has been debated by both sides. Who's got the edge by RFK Jr. not being on that stage tonight? Does the edge go to Trump or does the edge go to Biden?
The
He is going to be on YouTube, I believe. It's simultaneous. I don't know if you saw that. I think he's going to broadcast at the same time, answering the same questions. Yeah.
Victor, this is easy. The edge goes to America, so nobody has to listen to him.
Oh my God, he would kill these two clowns.
Oh my God, you are
He
crazy.
He would murder both.
Have you heard him?
Thank you, Victor. I agree with you 100%. He murders these
I
two
have
clowns.
Have you
Murders.
heard him talk? He can't. And besides that, nobody
He has
cares.
some.
Nobody cares. The edge is to America. We don't have to listen to him.
Well, 2-1 on this stage here, if we're a democracy, which we are obviously not.
I'm just telling you.
We would say that America is suffering because
America wins not having to listen to RFK. I'll leave it there.
I don't know. I think it's a damn shame. But if you want
A
to
damn
tune in,
shame. It's not. It's not.
simulcast.
If you
Yeah,
want
I
to
think
bring
it's a
in
damn shame.
smart people to add smart
think-
people to a debate, I'm fine with that. But bringing him in, no need.
Hold on. This is a debate of smart people, Tom?
I didn't say
Is that
that.
what you're trying to tell me?
I said if you want to add people
is
to
the
the
debate of
mix,
smart people
just
right
to
now?
add some smart people to the mix, fine, go ahead. But RFK, no, we don't need him. America
If
wins.
you go to therealdebate.com, or I think he's going to simulcast it on X, formerly known as Twitter. You can tune into his simulcast going on RFK Jr. simulcast. That concludes our little game called Who's Got the Edge? But we're not done with our little set of games here. I've come up with 3 games. I'm ready to go to the second. You guys ready for the second game? You having some fun? Tony,
sure, I'm having a blast, to be honest with you. I mean, I have to live with him for the next.
The first one was one that I hope we don't ever play again. But let's see the second one.
The second one's just a guessing game. It's expected to be the most watched television program of the year. So let's guess the viewers. I'm going to give you some context. 2016, the first Trump versus Hillary Clinton debate had 84 million viewers. The second debate had 66 million. The third had about 72 million. So
Okay.
a spread there from 66 to 84. In 2020, the first debate, which normally has the most, had 73 million viewers. The second was canceled, if you remember that. And the third debate had 63 million views. So this little game is called Guess the Viewers. Tom, how many viewers does this debate? How many people tune in?
How many people watch Caitlin Clark in the NCAA women's finals? Just so I can put some context around this.
That's actually a good question.
I would say less than that. It's like 12 million or something. How many people watch the Super
I
Bowl?
don't think that's close.
It's got to be more
Depends.
people watch
It's
this.
normally around, a big number would be 110 million. I think the
110,
record was somewhere
okay.
like 110 million.
I think this will be similar. I'm gonna go. God, this is just such. I'm gonna go low. I'm gonna go low. I'm gonna say 71 million.
That's low. That's
71 million. Okay.
That's-
I'm gonna
Got
go
you down
low.
on my
That's
sheets.
way below
How much you wanna put on that?
2016.
yeah, but that's in line with the last Hillary. Right?
And then what do you think? Victor's gonna go 90.
I'm gonna go with the 84.
I'm gonna watch it
I'm gonna
five
go
times.
with the 84. I'll go on the high end.
I'm going 71. He's going 84. What are you doing?
Oh, Tony thinks they're going to blast this thing away.
Well, if you consider
4
X, it'll
million.
probably be 110 because that's where all the young kids are going to be.
I'm not considering
split
X
you
because
guys.
Elon's just going to lie and say that 50 million people watched it on X.
Well, that's how I got there.
I don't know
84,
if it beats
50, right
84.
there's my.
I only want major networks. What do you say,
I'm
Vic?
going to go 77. My number 77.
All right, you're right in between the two of us.
Yeah, a little to the high side. Last question, because I heard the conversation that you had with Vanetta earlier, and you talk about who loses, which is the American people here. My question is, who has the president with the highest IQ of all time? Do you know what president had the highest IQ of all time?
Yes.
Herbert Hoover.
A president with the highest
Herbie
IQ.
Hancock.
That's going to be hard because we're going to have to go way back. It's going to be either.
Both Bushes combined.
It's just a
It
guess.
is
I would say
estimated.
in modern times, it would be Clinton or Obama. But in past times, I'm going to go maybe Andrew Jackson.
Did they do that back then?
I don't know. I mean, he's asking all time, right?
It's all estimated. It's all estimated.
All estimated. Oh, okay.
My answer is Tom Sosnoff, D.
I'm going to go Andrew Jackson. I don't think it was Lincoln or Washington. I don't know all the other ones in between.
Grover Cleveland.
I don't think it was Eisenhower or Kennedy. I'm going to go, please don't tell me it was Lyndon Johnson. I don't think so. It definitely wasn't Nixon.
Ronald Reagan.
No, Reagan was low. I think in modern times, it's
lower.
probably going to be, I think it's going to be Obama. Jimmy Carter was high too. Jimmy Carter was very high.
I'll give Carter the honorable mention just because he had such a horrible presidency and he's getting old.
Jimmy Carter could have been like up in the 150. I'm going to go Jimmy Carter. How's that? He could have been up in the 150s. What do you got?
I didn't separate this to modern times, but all time I've got, and this might be disputed a little bit, but I've got John Quincy Adams.
Who? John Quincy Adams?
Close.
I would never get. I would have no idea. Okay. How would you know this?
7 languages. Thomas Jefferson, number 2, IQ 160.
Oh yeah, that's a good call. Thomas Jefferson.
But I was actually surprised. A few of them surprised me, like George Bush's range on his estimate. It actually surprised me. It's a lot
Senior
higher
or
than
junior?
most people think. Junior.
Yeah, well, Junior went to Yale. Yeah.
Kennedy's
Who wins?
the first one of modern history. They got him ranked 4th at 159 and change.
159. Okay.
Then you got Bill Clinton.
Last question. I'm going to get out of here. Who wins
159.
tonight's
Then you got
debate?
Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, I knew Carter was really high, and same with Clinton.
Who wins tonight's debate, gentlemen?
America loses.
Not the question.
I know, America loses. Nobody wins. We're so divided right now. There's not going to be a clear-cut winner. Both sides are going to claim victory. Unfortunately, unless one of them shocks me and can actually deliver an agenda, which I don't think is possible, I think America loses.
A little recency bias there, I think, because the last couple of debates were not so great. But I think these new rules are setting up a very different potential outcome than the previous ones. Tony, what do you think?
I think we might be pleased. I'm going to go with the half full glass instead of the half empty as my opponent.
I'm usually I'm not your opponent, but usually I am glass half.
As my opponent has gone with the half empty. Your mic is muted, by the way. As my opponent has gone with the half empty scenario, I will go with the glass being half full. And we are surprised, and there's no clear-cut winner, but they both sound articulate. The drugs kick in for Biden. Trump cheats with some sort of thing in his ear, and it's just amazing for America.
No, what I think Trump's going to do is going to write everything on his hand.
Okay, Trump writes everything on his hand and has all the answers.
No notes are allowed.
Yeah.
I actually think I am hoping that this debate is going to be surprisingly substantive.
Oh my God! I will sell that until it's the lock of the century.
You can sell it. I think under these rules, I don't think anyone wins by trying to go the culture war route. And I think they both know it. I think they know that the viewing public doesn't want it. And I think it's a surprisingly substantive discussion. I hope they discuss tax. I hope they discuss trade. And I hope they discuss geopolitics and their positioning towards China and towards Russia and towards other sort of geopolitical conflicts. I hope we get a surprisingly substantive discussion. Gentlemen, that's going to do it for Who's Got the Edge.